name is AG. Welcome to Galaxy. And 2023 is coming up very soon, and I wanted to take this time to touch on some of the games that I'm excited for, whether it be on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, or Nintendo Switch. Now, I know that Game Awards just recently wrapped up and they had some releases there, so I'll touch on two games that I'm excited for. Hades 2, I never played the original Hades, but when I saw that when I was watching the Game Awards, I was pretty excited for it. It looked like a nice sequel, so I might have to get on Hades very soon. I know it's on sale right now for like 12 bucks, so I might have to purchase that, as well as the new Hellboy game. I've never really seen a Hellboy game. I don't think they've ever made one. I may be wrong, but that looked pretty cool. I liked how the visuals were in that game. So those are two off my list right there. Starting at number 1 for this list is going to be Dead Space. Dead Space comes out January 27th, and it is a remake of the original Dead Space. Now, I don't really much remember the regular Dead Space. I do remember a lot of Dead Space 3 though, which I had a lot of fun with back in the day. But I know the dedicated Dead Space fans, there's a lot of fans of Dead Space, so of course they're going to bring it back. Multiplayer co-op, we've been missing a lot in gaming recently, and that is like probably one of my favorite genres of gaming, because I love to play with friends, especially story mode games. So as you know, back last year, It Takes Two won Game of the Year, which is a multiplayer co-op game, which is very different than Dead Space. I know they're two completely different games style-wise, but at the same time, you know there's a market for it, so why not come up with a remake, which is, I think, is a very smart idea, and I'm very excited to play Dead Space. In February 10th, you got Hogwarts Legacy, which is a new Hogwarts game. I have never played any Harry Potter game. I've never really been into Harry Potter at all, but this game actually looks good. The customizability of creating your own wizard, as well as I believe you're gonna allowed to choose what house you're a part of. A very exciting idea for a game. And even though I'm not really a part of, the Harry Potter fandom, I think it's a great idea for a video game, especially if that multiplayer is, very heavy in this game. Then I think it's going to be a smash hit. I know a lot of people are excited for it. I know I'm probably going to get it when it drops. So yeah, that's that for that. February 24th, you got Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Now, Kirby's Return to Dreamland was a Wii release, and it was just a sequel of obviously Kirby's Dream Land, which is my favorite Kirby game of all time. I love Kirby. I love Kirby games. They're slightly easy on the easier side, but they are made typically for kids. So obviously you're gonna have to deal with that. But I've never played Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii. I was mostly playing Sonic Colors and Mario Galaxy. But I'm very excited to try this one out because what other Kirby games have been out recently? We got Kirby All-Star Allies. I never played that one. And then you have Kirby in the Forgotten Woods, which was a very good game. Or the Forgotten Land, sorry. You can't go wrong with Kirby, so that's another game I'm excited for this year. March 24th, we got the Resident Evil 4 remake. I know 2 of the games on my list are already remakes, but Resident Evil 4 was a mainstay in my childhood. I used to play that on GameCube with my brother, and we would be scared as hell because we were obviously kids, but it was a great experience. Resident Evil 4 deserves this remake, and I'm so glad that it's getting one, because just to relive those memories of that game on PlayStation 5 is going to be a blast. And I know a lot of people that aren't really into the Resident Evil series are going to enjoy this. My last Resident Evil I played was probably Resident Evil 5, which I very much enjoyed as well. They haven't really gotten back that traction that they once had in terms of, actual shooting mechanics, because in the past couple Resident Evil games, it was mainly about the horror. I think the last really shooter Resident Evil they had was Resident Evil 6, and then they mainly focused on the horror element of Resident Evil. So I'm glad to be bringing back, that shooter element as well, because although I know the horror elements do very good, and they're very big fans of the past 2 Resident Evils as well, because they're good games. But to be able to bring that back and go back to its roots, I'm glad that they're doing that, because I have been waiting for Resident Evil 4 to be remade for a while now. So I'm glad that they're doing that. And you got May 12th, you got the big bad Legend of Zelda and the Tears of the Kingdom. This game is very highly anticipated for a lot of Nintendo fans and just Switch fans in general. This game is going to be so good. Breath of the Wild came out 5 years ago now, which is crazy to say, but it still has its dedicated fan base, and a lot of people are waiting for this game. Before Breath of the Wild, I was never a big Zelda fan. I always thought the series was not that, fun. Right here, I'll bring it out for you guys. Hold on. I actually have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Limited Edition 2DS, and it came with Ocarina of Time, the remake, and I couldn't get into it. I don't know if it was because it was so old and I don't have that nostalgic taste to Legend of Zelda, but it was just not my cup of tea. But Breath of the Wild brought me into a whole new world of Zelda, and I loved Breath of the Wild. It was a great game, so this sequel, definitely Game of the Year contender, already off rip, and we haven't even seen any of the games yet, but this is definitely going to be the Game of the Year contender. May 26th, you got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This one I'm iffy about. I'm on the fence because a couple months ago, the heads of the Suicide Squad left the project, and I believe when there's smoke, there's fire in certain instances, and hopefully, this game comes out and it just is a knockout of the park, but you never know with games like this. Gotham Knights, another DC game. Mixed reviews. I heard it was good overall, but there was just certain things that just didn't make sense as far as having 4 characters but only 2-player co-op. That to me just kind of makes my skin crawl, because I believe if you actually made this game 4-player co-op, regardless of all the the bugs and whatever else people were having, if they have 4-player co-op, I feel like it wouldn't be as major, because the fun aspect takes over the bugs and any other complaints anyone has about the game. People are willing to overlook a lot of like mistakes in games, or just like things that they feel like they can't tolerate if the game is actually fun. Now, I never played Gotham Knights, so I wouldn't know, but hopefully Suicide Squad lives up to the hype. Now, my last game I have on here is Amazing Spider-Man 2. This game, it's to be determined. There's no release date yet. Just 2023 is the official year release date. But this game, I am so hyped for. I didn't get around to playing Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man on PS4. I didn't get around to playing until like 2020. So I was late to the party. But as soon as Miles Morales dropped, that is the first thing I bought when I got my PS5. And that game was awesome. To be able to add both of the Spider-Man in it and Venom as one of the main villains, that is going to be so dope. I cannot wait for that game. I love Spider-Man, and I love the Spider-Man fighting mechanics in the past 2 Spider-Man, so I know this one's gonna look gorgeous. And another dub for Sony. Congrats, Sony. RIP Microsoft, though. Just to add a little tidbit of information about how the FTC is trying to cancel their acquisition of Activision, which is very, very messed up. I feel bad for Microsoft in that aspect, but regardless, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a shorter video, just to say what I'm excited for in the upcoming year of gaming. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Good.